Hey everyone, I want to make a non-scripted video about the recently announced Dragon Ball Daima or Dima, I believe it's called. I believe the code name was Dragon Ball Magic before announcement, or maybe Dragon Ball Magic is the English name. I didn't look it up beforehand recording this video, but I'm just gonna call it Dragon Ball Magic. Before I talk about Dragon Ball Magic, I want to share my personal history of Dragon Ball and my opinions about it. Dragon Ball was introduced to me at the age of 5 or 6 by my brother. I remember him watching an episode of Dragon Ball. At that time, it was like during the Majin Buu saga. After that, I fell in love with Dragon Ball. I still talk about and think about it to this day. I remember playing the games, especially Budokai Tenkaichi 2, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and Budokai 3. Those were like my all-time favorite games at the time. Um, I remember wanting to see more of Dragon Ball after finishing Dragon Ball Z. I was like, dang, I want to see more, like the future after Majin Buu saga. And I remember watching Dragon Ball GT after that. I was okay with it. I think Dragon Ball GT was a okay show, but what made Dragon Ball GT special was Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4 was absolutely amazing. It really is. This is Super Saiyan 4 right here. I think it's still like one of the best designed best designed characters of all time. This is like the perfect character to me. I really want to see this come back one day. I really do. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about more about before Dragon Ball Super. I remember Dragon Ball Battle of Gods was announced in 2013. I even remember the time too. I was playing Dragon Ball Raging Blast on my PlayStation 3, and I was super hyped for it. I was like, I can't wait to see this movie. When I watched it, I wasn't disappointed. It was the perfect movie for me at the time. And after that, I was like, I want more. I want to see another movie. I want the show to come back. I want all of it, right? So then Dragon Ball Z Battle Resurrection of F was announced. So 2015 to 2018 was the golden time of Dragon Ball. It really is, in my personal opinion. So Dragon Ball Z Resurrection of F was announced at the time. I loved that movie too. I was kind of indifferent for Frieza to come back to life, but after that, it was perfect. I really liked Frieza's golden form. I think it looked really cool. And after when that movie came out, they announced that Dragon Ball Super, like the actual canon animation show, is going to be coming out that same year. So Dragon Ball Super ran throughout the duration of my high school. In July 2015, it aired. That's before me starting grade 10. And the show ended around March of 2018 before me graduating high school. So Dragon Ball Super was throughout my high school life, and I really enjoyed every bit of weekly episodes I watched about it. But it didn't start good. Dragon Ball Super did not start out as a good show, and I have some personal opinions about Dragon Ball Super. How I didn't like how that show was the Goku and Vegeta show. The Z Fighters didn't have their spotlight as much in that show, and Gohan got really nerfed and he became such an irrelevant crappy character during Dragon Ball Super, the first start of it. I just wish that Gohan was training with Vegeta and Goku at Beerus's planet. I just wish that was a thing, but unfortunately they put Gohan to the side for him to learn his books and all that stuff, and having a family with Videl and having Pan. I think that was okay too, you know, Gohan having his personal life, but I wish he was on the fighting side as well. But when Dragon Ball Super first came out, I really did not like the animations. I wasn't the only one. I remember the internet made fun of the first 15 episodes of Dragon Ball Super. The animations were actually horrendous, and I really wish Dragon Ball Super was actually a better show. What should have been Dragon Ball Super is that they should have just carried on after the movie Resurrection F, because I didn't like that they recycled the first two movies and they dragged it out into a show. I don't think they should have done that. They should have just made the show after the movie. Like, continue the storyline after the movie, because it would have been simple. Watch Dragon Ball Z, then watch the Battle of Gods movie, then Resurrection F, then watch Super. That's what I tell my friends. Skip the retold story of the Beerus and Frieza story of Dragon Ball Super, because you're not gonna have a good time, and the animations aren't as good as the later episodes of Super. So I stopped watching Dragon Ball Super after the first 5 episodes. I really wasn't digging it. I really didn't like how they're just retelling the story, and after that I just like stopped. I really didn't care after that. I started watching Dragon Ball again, I believe almost a year later, or maybe 7 months later after premiering. After that, I fell in love with it. I really did. The Universe 6 tournament was okay, but wasn't the best. The Goku Black arc was really good, but I really wish that the Goku Black arc was an actual evil Goku, not Zumasu, like switching bodies with Goku. Instead, I wish it was like an alternate timeline where Goku didn't get dropped on his head and he was actually a pure evil Saiyan. I really wish they did that. And it's unfortunate that that's how they had to write the story, but maybe next time, right? But I would rather see an evil Goku instead of a Zumasu being possessed, right? But other than that, I really enjoyed the Goku Black arc. I think it's a solid 8 out of 10, besides what I thought about it, of Zamasu possessing Goku. So that's a different thing. The Tournament of Power was really good. I really enjoyed the Tournament of Power. Don't mind my dog, she's just chewing on her bone. The Tournament of Power was peak Dragon Ball Super. It really is. It was so like fantastic. I remember watching that shit weekly ever since that premiered. It went throughout 1 year, I believe, the Tournament of Power. I really enjoyed how Jiren was that mysterious, or that mystery like type of guy. He you don't know how strong he is. They say that he's stronger than the destroyer gods. So that's really cool. I can't wait to see that. I remember there were like rumors that like, or they show in the intro that Goku's gonna get a new transformation. I was like, I really hope that's gonna happen. And after that, they really showed Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct was like one of my favorite things about Dragon Ball Super, and I want to see it return again. Obviously, it returned in the manga, but I want to see it animated again. But after that, Dragon Ball Super ended around March 31st, I believe, of 2018. And it was kind of sad because I wanted to see more. But that wasn't the end of it. Dragon Ball Super Broly was going to come out that same year, and Dragon Ball Super Broly was my favorite piece of animation of any movie ever created to this day. It really is. Dragon Ball Super Broly is the movie to watch. I even remember buying it on Blu-ray because that's how much I love that movie. It's somewhere in my stuff, but that's for another time, I guess. But after Dragon Ball Super Broly came out, it was just radio silence throughout that time. It was just 2018 was the perfect year for Dragon Ball. You had Dragon Ball Z Fighters that came out the first month of that year, and then Dragon Ball Super was still going hot with the Tournament of Power. But after, when the show ended, you still had more Dragon Ball in that same year via the movie. That was an amazing movie. I still think about it to this day. Then Dragon Ball went on a complete hiatus. It was quiet for a while. All you had during the wait period for Dragon Ball Superhero. By the way, it's a really bad name. They should have just named it Dragon Ball Superhero. It's better instead of Superhero. I don't know, that's just me. But during that time of waiting between Dragon Ball Super Broly and Dragon Ball Superhero, you had like content, like you had video games like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I think that game was okay. It wasn't the best, Some people think it's the best Dragon Ball game of all time, and they're not wrong. I really like that there was like extra bits of content story wise that wasn't in the show that's considered canon. I like that a lot. Um, I really wish they would remake that game into a better game one day, because I think Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is mid, but a little bit above mid. It's like it's a okay game. It really is. Um, I guess we're not talking about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot review, right? But that's for another time. Um, so while we were waiting for Dragon Ball Superhero, all we got was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That's all I could remember. And we got like DLCs for Dragon Ball Z Fighters and Kakarot stuff, right? That's all I could remember. Besides like promotional stuff, collaborations with other brands. But when Dragon Ball Superhero was announced, I was super mixed about it, pun intended. I was super mixed about it. I really didn't like that the animation just straight up turned into a. That's what I think. It looks like a Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 cutscene. That's what it really looks like to me. It looks like they just took Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Let's make a movie out of it. Let's just make that art style into a movie. That's what they did. It's almost kind of like that, in my personal opinion. It kind of looks like that. Um, but other than that, what I really liked about the movie of Superhero was, for once, it wasn't the Goku and Vegeta show. The Z Fighters got their spotlight for once after 20 years. I really, really liked, or maybe besides in Resurrection of F, before Goku and Vegeta reaching Earth, the Z Fighters had their spotlight fighting Frieza's henchmen, but Gohan was still absolutely like horrible at that time. He was really weak. Didn't like his green tracksuit. But back to Superhero. Superhero was a really good show. Sorry, my bad. Movie. They brought Gohan back to the spotlight. Piccolo was stronger than ever. The Z Fighters had like their shine. Everything about Superhero was really good. Uh, what else can I say? I really liked Gohan's new transformation. It's just really like one of the best looking transformations I've seen since Super Saiyan 4 and Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct is kind of on the basic side. It's just Goku's hair but gray. But I mean, obviously, right? But Gohan's hair is like spiky. It's really long. I really liked it. Um, Piccolo's golden form, I think that was really cool as well. I really liked Cell Max. But other than that, I think the animation, the style of the movie, I don't really like it, because it kind of looks like a video game, like I said, Xenoverse 2. But then after that movie, I was really excited to see the future of Dragon Ball. Are they gonna finally announce the show to come back with season 2 before like the continue where the manga left off? Like they're gonna finally animate it? But there was like a rumor that a new Dragon Ball project was gonna get announced in 2023, which is this year. Um, I was really excited to see it happen. When it happened, I was extremely disappointed. So now back to topic. Dragon Ball Magic. Um, I was extremely disappointed about this announcement. Same with the community of Dragon Ball. I was really hoping that Dragon Ball Super 2 was going to get announced. That's what I really wanted. Um, so it's basically like GT2. Yeah, GT is coming back in a modern way. But at the time of recording, I don't know if this show is gonna be a side story to Dragon Ball Super, but I highly doubt it's canon, so I don't know. But what it can be a good show. Just depends if they bring something back like this. If they make like a Super Saiyan 5, I want something like this to come to Dragon Ball Magic. That's what made like Dragon Ball GT really special to me and to other people, is that Super Saiyan 4 was a really, really cool looking transformation. It's what made Dragon Ball GT a really like good show for other people. And one second. Sorry about that. I had to take care of my dog. Yeah. yeah, as I was saying, I want something like this to come to Dragon Ball Magic, and then to me, and it could be a really good show. I want something memorable like that. If Dragon Ball Magic wants to stand out to be a good show amongst anime fans and Dragon Ball fans, they need to pull something like that with like Super Saiyan 4. I think they should really make a Super Saiyan 5. If it's not canon, just straight up make a Super Saiyan 5. Like really, it would be really cool. Unless if they're still gonna stick with with the Super Saiyan Blue and like Ultra Instinct and stuff like that. If they're gonna stick with that, then we're definitely not gonna see something like this. We're really not, because it would be like, I guess, irrelevant because they would have blue, right? But if they're not gonna bring that back or make a stronger transformation like Super Saiyan 5 just to make its own story, I think that would be really cool. But other than that, I'm not looking forward to the future of Dragon Ball after this announcement, because if they're just gonna make side stories and continue to make side content instead of just actually continue on with the story. But I understand that Toriyama said that he was gonna uh, only make scripted for movies. I believe I remember reading an article that Toriyama wants to just make Dragon Ball movies and like, focus on other things. I know that Toriyama is focusing on Dragon Quest 12 and other projects that he has going on, but other than that, I remember watching GT when I was a kid. This is like this 2-pack orange box thing. I'm really not a fan of the orange boxes because there isn't like a competent release of Dragon Ball in Blu-ray format that most people like. Sorry about that. I bought the steelbooks. I know that the steelbooks are the same copies of the 30th anniversary Blu-ray releases. I'm okay with it. I know that some people really hate it, but I'm okay with it. So I guess I'm gonna get some flack for that because I know that that release that release wasn't reviewed very well amongst the general public, and that's kind of unfortunate. But I really want to own the show, so I bought the steelbooks in all 9 sets, and that was really expensive because I didn't have the chance to get the 30th anniversary Blu-ray set at the time, like with the Goku statue and all that. But other than that, I hope that Dragon Ball Magic will be a competent show that can stand on its own, and which hopefully gets me engaged to watch it every week. If it doesn't do that, then that show failed. To me, if the show would fail for me, not for some other people. So I really hope that Dragon Ball Magic has its own identity as a really good show that will go down in history as a really good Dragon Ball tied product. Like I said, my biggest wish list for this show is something like this. I really do want something like this, like a Super Saiyan 4 type transformation. But I guess time will tell. I'll make a review about it once the show comes out, a first impressions when the show comes out in I believe next year. I believe the show was announced a bit too early. We're gonna have to wait a year for something we're not excited about, right? But I'm not gonna exactly talk crap about it because it's gonna be like a shitty GT thing, right? But I guess I'm lying. I already talked crap about it, but I'm gonna give it a good chance before I really hate the show. But other than that, Dragon Ball Magic will have to stay on hold before I have a true proper opinion about it. But this is just my first impression opinion on what I think about the announcement. But other than that, thank you for watching, and like I said, when the show will come out, I'm gonna make a proper analysis about it and my first impressions and see how the show will turn out. Or maybe, yeah, so I'm gonna make a first impressions about it, and then once the show ends, then I'm gonna make a final verdict and see if this show really did live up to the hype. But other than that, thank you for watching, and if you guys have any other ideas on topics you guys want me to talk about it, or any video ideas that you guys want me to do, please leave in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. You guys take care. Bye.